Every fairy tale or story seems to have an evil stepmother. Someone trying to steal the father away or send the children off somewhere. Cinderella is the one that does the most damage. The evil stepmother who makes poor Cinderella work in the kitchen whilst her own children lived a life of leisure. It's hard. You fall in love with someone and your world changes. And he has kids. But you love him, so you're sure you can love his kids too. They're part of him, right? I met Richard at a friend's party. He was a friend of someone there. We bonded over cheese and pineapple and sticks. He was recently divorced, or at least nearly divorced. Don't ask me about it, he said. 2 children in a loveless marriage. And then they had 2 children. Sorry, his joke, not mine. I was a mess, recently started a new business, web design. Not a lot of chance for love, with a string of bad choices behind me anyway. I didn't meet the kids until we'd already been seeing each other for 5 months. In that time, other things moved quickly. I moved out of my little flat, made a good profit on that, and bought half of his house. The first meeting with the kids was brief. He was taking them camping and didn't feel comfortable with me going on the first meet. But they didn't speak. Barely made eye contact. I assumed it was because they were worried about me or even scared. But that's because the world always says it's the stepmother's fault when things go wrong. The children are angels and the stepmother is a devil. It doesn't matter how hard you try, you can't escape from that. You can see how hard that is, right? It doesn't matter how much effort you put in, you can't win. You're trying to replace their mother, their actual mother. The best you can hope for is that their biological mother is a monster. Well, no, you can't hope for that. That's insane. You don't want them to have a bad life, but maybe you just want the competition to be a little less perfect. She is the competition. It doesn't matter how well you get on with her, she's the enemy. The kids will never love you as much, and the best thing for them is if you disappear and Mummy and Daddy stop all the divorce silliness and get back together. So you try hard. You try to be the perfect wife and the perfect friend, because that's probably the best you can hope for. A friend to the kids, someone who isn't exactly a parent but is an adult. And you keep pushing. You let their insults slide, and you make their favourite food, and you hope you're making a dent somewhere. The father, Richard, he just sees what he wants to see. His darling children, his new wife getting along swimmingly, missing the little hand signs, the names under their breaths, the food thrown onto your chair as you're about to sit down. The first time you feel the squidgy mess that is lime jelly with grapes inside, no other fruit, on your buttocks, you assume it was an accident. The second time, you hope it's an accident. Standing up, getting changed, and throwing the bolognese-stained jeans into the washer. The third, fourth, and every other time, you pretend it was a mistake. Count to 10. Breathe. As far as they're concerned, you're in their territory. Their father's house. Never mind that you pay half the bills and own half the house. But then, suddenly they're almost pleasant. They ask you about your day. One of them apologises for something in the past. It's a bit shocking, but maybe the effort is finally paying off. Maybe life will be a little easier. It all goes a bit quiet. You haven't become a confidant. You aren't watching TV together. But they aren't terrorising you either. I'll take that. I'll take some amount of peace. And then you get a message on your phone. It's a video from one of the kids. It shows Richard at the house when he told you he was visiting a friend. Nothing too damning, not even sitting on the same sofa, but a little lie. And then it begins again, but this time the double team. Whenever Richard isn't in the room, they keep telling you how comfortable he looked back at home, how nicely they got on as a family again, and how I'd be out of the picture soon. You confront Richard and he immediately starts an argument, asks you how he can organise his life without talking to his ex-wife, the mother of his children. Of course he lied. He knew you'd act like this if he told you the truth. Except, how would he know? You've known each other over a year. This situation had never come up before. And the kids keep twisting the knife, keep telling you that it wasn't the first or the last time, that their father had been there. You can ignore that for a time. But when you're already feeling hurt, it has to escape somewhere. It would be easy to shout back at the kids, easy to hurt them. But is it really their fault? Isn't it Richard's fault? So, in answer to your question, officer, they're in the basement. Richard is in his car boot.